I was 10 years old, I was diagnosed with severe aplastic anemia, which is a bone marrow failure disease.
She was in a basketball tournament and got a weird rash that we soon found out was petechiae, which were all her capillaries bursting because her blood wasn't clotting. So we were sent down to Children's immediately, and they diagnosed her with aplastic anemia.
The only cure for it is a bone marrow transplant, and at the time, my brother was not a match.
Which was very hard news at the time, and then their next set of news was that her bone marrow typing is very rare. Less than 1% of the population has it. If you have cancer, you can look at someone's cells and say you're cancer-free. Aplastic anemia is invisible. Your body just stops making cells. It's like a monster in your body, and we've given it medicine to scare it away, and it's hiding. It's still in your body. It'll always be in your body until you have a transplant, but it's hiding until, hopefully forever, we hope, but it's still there. So the only true cure is the transplant.
My parents decided through in vitro to try to have another child with the same bone marrow.
I had to pass lots of psych evals because sadly the odds at that time were that Sage might not be alive when the baby was born. So they wanted to make sure, and I don't know why anyone would ever do that, but that I was still going to want the baby and love the baby even if that was the scenario.
So my parents had my sister, and she is now my bone marrow match. When she was born at the time, my counts were stable enough, so they didn't go ahead and do the bone marrow transplant, so her cord blood is now frozen in case anything were to happen, but fingers crossed, we'll be fine. But so her name is Mira, which is short for miracle.
I think that she is a very good sister, and I love hanging out with her, and I'm very happy whenever she comes home from college. And yeah.
Lord knows there's lots of things that can go wrong with a transplant. It's huge in itself, and I hope we never have to go down that road, but if we do, we're ready.
I chose Carroll because I am a very homebody type person, and when I came to Carroll, it was one of those things where I stepped on campus and I knew that this is where I was supposed to go.
I met Sage her incoming freshman year. She was really excited to be on campus. I was a little nervous about the cost of attending, so Jim Wiseman actually brought her to my office so that we could talk about her plans, get a plan for the 4 years, discuss what her options were, and I've met her every year since then. She always comes in around the first week of school, just so that we can talk about what her options are.
As a single mom, statistics will tell you that your kids aren't going to succeed. And that was one thing I was very clear with them from very early on. You're not going to be part of those statistics. You're going to rise above, and we're going to do whatever we need to do.
Over 98% of our students receive some form of institutional financial aid. A Carroll education is expensive, we know that, but we make that expense as affordable as possible with those students through the generous gifts that we are given from our donors.
Sage wouldn't have been able to go there if it wasn't for their generosity. Because even sometimes 7 days a week working isn't going to make it.
I know for a fact that if it wasn't for those donations, I would not be here. My family just wouldn't be able to afford it.
I was willing to take on extra work when she started. I knew I was going to have to do that to make it feasible. Her freshman year, her brother was still in school too, so I had 2 in college. We've been very lucky and very appreciative of the financial support we've been given from Carroll.
They truly have changed my life, and they've made it so much easier to go to school, and I can't thank them enough for that. I hope that when I do graduate, I will be eventually in the position that I can give back to students who are in the same position as I am. Because I think being given that opportunity, it's really, I mean, it's life-changing, and I want to be able to do that for somebody eventually.